Welcome back to our Jurassic World Evolution 2 park build, and we're gonna start with a speed build because I'm gonna be glitching the lagoon, and glitching takes a lot of brain power, so I couldn't talk and do this all at the same time. So I've placed my lagoons, I'm just running the track through there. We're gonna be adding rocks and all of that stuff to the track, to our monorail slash tour track. They're combined into one to form a bridge, and I'm adding rocks on either side to make it look a little bit more decorated, but also we're going to be glitching so much stuff into this lagoon that it's going to look more like it belongs in a swamp, because on either side there's going to be like swamp terrain for a Suchomimus and Deinocheirus, and then in the lagoon there's going to be Nothosaurus. And you know, I didn't want like an open ocean looking kind of lagoon. So as you can see here, I'm adding a ton of foliage, and I'm going to be adding so much more. And by the time that we bring the lagoon back in and, you know, the terrain goes down, all of this foliage is just going to make it look like there's land in the lagoon. And I think that's going to create a really good blend between the lagoon and the surrounding area. If you haven't done a glitch like this yet, I highly recommend it. Stick around until the end because you're going to see how good that looks. But yeah, if you haven't done it yet, there's videos on the channel to show you how to do it. I've done like a full glitch guide to show you how to do all of these glitches, because this is still vanilla gameplay. I'm not using any mods. You can do this whatever you play the game on, and it has some really brilliant results. I really love doing stuff like this to the lagoons to make them more interesting. I'm even adding trees here because, again, we're pretending that, you know, the bushes are growing on land. Yeah, from below you can see that the bushes are just floating in the lagoon, but from above you don't really see that. So we have our bridge, and that goes through the middle, and our lagoon is 3 sections. So the bridge is in the center, and then on either or both, I should say, of the outer lagoon sections, I'm adding the natural lagoon edge. And again, we're just pretending that it's land inside the lagoon. So I'm just adding a ton of rocks, and I'm going to be repeating the same trick, quote unquote, with the foliage to make it look like land. And this is honestly, it's probably one of the best looking lagoons I've made, in my opinion. I really like the trees, by the way. This is the first time I added trees into this aesthetic, and I was really pleased with how that turned out. Now, this video is quite different from the usual videos from Mini Sorna. Usually I do like a live real-time build, and there will be a section of that in the middle of this video. But, you know, for this starting point, as I said, I just needed to focus on glitching. Didn't really have a lot to say about that. So we're gonna speed build that. And then later, as I was doing the real-time build, I just realized that I didn't have enough time to do the video as I usually do. Of course, we do Mini Sorna every single week, 1 episode per week. And the problem with that is when news comes out, or trailers, for example, like for Chaos Theory, the trailer came out last week, that takes up more time than I have to make this episode the normal way. So we had to get a little bit creative. I hope you don't mind. Regular episodes are still going to be, you know, returning. We're going to be doing the real-time builds, but I had to adapt and survive for this one. I'm finishing up this this natural edge. I'm raising the terrain back up. That's crucial for the glitch. There's a couple of plants in the way. There you go. I was able to put that lagoon down. One of the tricks that I like using is just sketching around the edge of the lagoon, so I know exactly where our lagoon ends and how far I need to place my foliage in order to cover the entire end of the lagoon. And here on the other end, I'm basically repeating what I did on the other side. You know, we're adding that natural lagoon edge and pretending that there's actual soil, ground there. But I do try to change the shape a little bit. So for the other end that we just did, I basically went around the entire semicircle with rocks and foliage, right? And for this one, as you can see, I'm focusing on 2 sides, so that by the end of it, you know, our lagoon is going to look a little bit more varied. It's not going to look like a mirror image or what I should say, that the ends are mirror images of one another. There's a little bit of variation in there just to add to that natural look. So that's maybe a little tip for if you're going to be doing these glitch natural lagoon edges. Try to, you know, make each side different so that it doesn't look too manicured, too perfect. Now, of course, that's especially important for this particular park build because it's supposed to be abandoned, right? Maybe, you know, if you're building like a super pretty, perfect park, maybe you do want to make it symmetrical. But for this build, I felt that it was important that I wouldn't do that. So I'm flattening all that out, and that is the lagoon, more or less done. We're going to be implementing one more glitch, and that is to glitch the lagoon rocks outside of the lagoon. And I was hoping to get the Nothosaurus to use them. Sometimes you do manage to get the rock close enough for the Nothosaurus to use them. But sometimes you don't, unfortunately. It is a glitch, so it is very unreliable. And in this case, sadly, the Nothosaurus do not use the rock that is outside of the lagoon. I don't mind it too much. I do still like how the lagoon rocks look outside of the lagoon, especially this one right here, which I used to create sort of like this overhang, kind of like a shelf. And I thought that looked really cool. Yeah, it's a small shame that the Nothosaurus don't actually use it, but you could still pretend that they do. And yeah, it's a glitch, it's unreliable. Hopefully someday we're gonna get better options than having to glitch all of this stuff. But let's get to the live build section of this video. Alright, so after our speed build, this is what we are left with. And obviously I want to have a tour go through the swamp. So I'm going to be placing that at the end of the lagoon here. I guess I could also place it on this end. Let me think about it. Do I like that more? Alright, let me plan out the route in my head. I don't think that's gonna work with this right here. I think we need to go in that direction, so that really doesn't leave me with many options. So it has to go on this side. So let's do that. Come on in. Come on in. You know you want to. Alright, so this is going to be like the attraction, you know, the tour that's gonna go through the actual habitat. Whereas with this one, you know, I want to keep this one transport, so not quite sure yet what to do with that one. But this one is gonna curve around here. There needs to be path over here. By the way, I think I can delete this one now. Oh, no, I cannot. Oh, what's in here? Oh, my lord. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, sure, we'll make some more. Yeah, I need path going this way as well, and the transport trucks need to go there. They also need to go back, I guess. So yeah, I need the width of this space for, like, you know, park transport purposes, for our guests to get around. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Low health. Yeah, babes, that's because, you know, you're away from your feeders and stuff. You're supposed to go over here, you silly goose. I mean, I do like them flying around over here. I'll you know what? Hold on. I'll give you temporary not water. Food. Temporary food. Don't get too attached to it. There. Okay, so, tour. There. So, we cross the bridge. Then we go into the habitat. We cross this makeshift bridge. I mean, I had to do something to create, you know, the illusion of pillars. So that's what I went with. And then it comes off here. Yeah, and I guess we'll just curve it back. You know, keep it simple. We do want to come out straight from here. There, and then we connect it like that. It's a pretty short swampy tour. I probably do want to continue the swamp stuff in this vicinity, like maybe with some other habitats. But I really need to be mindful that I don't, you know, mess up the coastline, because that's, you know, that's kind of the gimmick. Alright, so we're gonna do some more of this stuff all over the place. Oh, sure, now you decide to land. Alright, really it's just all about adding water, deleting water. Adding water, deleting water. Haha, sucks with you. So there, I wanna create these little puddles. Yeah, I like how that looks. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, getting all swampy. I have just realized a problem, and that's this whole area. Now, what could be cool though? Ooh, actually, is it a problem? Maybe it's not. So, okay, so the thing I was thinking is I've just closed off the only access point to this entire area, right? So I can't be building here now. But I guess what we could do is just leave it as like a remote thing. You know, we can put viewing towers there on the edge, so that's how guess would look into what is going to be just one giant habitat. That's pretty cool, actually. And this is a pretty decently sized island, so we can do something with that as well. Alright, yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. And speaking of viewing, I also wanted, if that works, I hope it works. Yeah. There. So, guests have that view. I think that's pretty neat. Alright. Alright. I'm actually not entirely sure how I feel about, you know, that perimeter to it all. Actually, what I think could be cool... Sorry, I keep changing my mind, but that's like kind of what I always do. I always change my mind. I think what could be cool is if we just continue this all the way over there, maybe. And then use the invisible fencing to separate it into two habitats. But like one tour that does provide viewing into the other area. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. There, it's at a bit of an elevation, but I think that's pretty cool. There, because it looks so good when it's destroyed. Oh my god, remember the first game when we like got this building and you could look inside and you could see the banner when dinosaurs ruled the earth? You could see that on the floor. Oh my god, that was good. That was a moment. That was a moment. God dang it. Oh boy. Oh my god. I broke my burp. I broke my burp. And here I am again with another speed build section in which we're going to be wrapping up this build. There is still a lot to do. Now, what you're seeing right now, what I did here was all live on stream. I was streaming for 12 hours straight yesterday. Maybe you can hear it. I don't know. I think my voice held up pretty well. I think it's doing okay. But yeah, I streamed for 12 hours straight, and I figured since I would be streaming for that long, I might as well bring you guys along live for a build of a mini Sorna habitat, sort of get two birds with one stone, because again, I didn't have enough time this week to do this episode normally. So yeah, lots of lovely people joined me live for this build to keep me company, and also keeping me company is the little bunny in the top over there. He's gonna get his veggies a little bit later in the video as well. So yeah, what we're gonna be doing is expanding the lagoon with two habitats on either side to form our swamp in total. So our swamp is gonna be the Nothosaurus Lagoon at the center. On one side, a Suchomimus habitat, and on the other side, as chosen / suggested by chat, a Deinocheirus swamp habitat. This build was not without its issues. If you were there yesterday, you witnessed me struggling to make certain aspects of this build work, specifically the broken fences. It took some trial and error, which you might think, oh, that should have been really easy, and yes, it should have been, but it was really a big challenge. Another challenge I'm facing while doing this video is that Premiere Pro is actually not properly rendering the video for me, so I'm not actually seeing what is happening on screen right now. So the only solution that I can come up with right now to be able to get this video out today, because I do want to become more consistent with my upload days, but the only solution I can think of is that I'm just gonna show you this footage. I hope that it will export properly if you're seeing this. It did. I'm gonna chuck some music on there. You can just enjoy the build. You can enjoy the bunny. He's gonna be enjoying his veggies. So much enjoyment going all around. And then at the end, I will do like a little mini tour of this area and talk about like the thought process behind it, the challenges behind it, and all of that. But I do want to show you like how the build happens. So roll the music, and I will see you at the end of the video. here we are. Allow me to give you a mini tour of this mini swamp on Mini Sorna. So we have the Deinocheirus habitat on one side, the lagoon in the middle with our plethora of Nothosaurus, and of course we have the Tor bridge over here with the vehicles coming by, which I think just looks amazing. And then on the other side we have the Suchomimus swamp. Here are the Suchos walking about, and this has also a bridge with these like alternative support struts going through. And then the tour goes along here, alongside the viewing galleries, and a bit of broken fence. And oh man, it was such a hassle to get the dinosaurs to break this fence. But it turned out that a very specifically timed save and reload is what ended up doing it. So actually, let's just move over to the Deinocheirus swamp. I decided to place this viewing log like right by the guest section, as opposed to, you know, in the middle of the wilderness, because I think it just, you know, architecturally, it's kind of a cool thing. So for once I figured it would be nice to have it like right by the guest section. And of course the Deinocheirus, they can't walk under it, so it does provide, you know, a proper perimeter for the habitat. And I felt it was pretty cool and different. We have our broken amenities on the other end. We have a little staff section. So on Mini Sorna, the staff sections are all connected via Hyperloop. We have 3 in the park so far. And this one is like a little worker section with a compost area. And they're using that to fertilize the paleobotany, which is used to feed the dinosaurs. Or, you know, when the park was still operational, of course. You know, it's seen better days now. It's all overgrown and destroyed. But yeah, in this habitat, there's going to be some dinosaur species that is going to be producing the dung that fertilizes all of these plants over here. By the way, this is one of the tips that I shared in a tip video from, I think, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I really recommend that you check out that video. If you struggle with, you know, filling awkward spaces in your park like this this might be too small for a habitat, but, you know, it's unnecessary to turn it into another guest section. And something like this, I think is just really cool. And this is just one of 10 ideas that I shared in that video. I will link it at the end or in a card in the corner so you can check that out. Okay, so the path goes through and, you know, behind the lagoon. And it has this lovely view into the Suchomimus habitat with our rock platform shelf up there. Oh, you actually see like crumbling stuff falling off the roof. So here you go. We have the vehicle going over the Tor bridge. I love that. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now, another problem that I faced, more so than the fence break, which took forever to achieve, I personally don't feel like we have the right foliage for achieving a good swamp look. So I'm not too happy with how the environment in the swamp looks. I think it looks a little bit messy with all of like the different biome trees mixed together. So yeah, that's definitely something I struggled with, but for me this was the best that I could think of. I do really like how that looks. Alright, so that's a little overview of this area, and just look how amazing this is. Like, come on, that looks so good. Like, it looks a little bonkers from below, but from up above, I think that does the trick really well. Here goes Louis. And here's the bridge, of course. Oh, you could just see the Nothosaurus resting. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Unfortunately, they don't use these rocks, but, you know, at least the rocks still look good. I think they add something to the Suchomimus habitat. Alright, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video. It was very different from usual. But please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss a single episode of Mini Sorna. And of course, all of the tip videos and stuff like that that I put out there. And hopefully this week we're gonna get news on the next pack for Jurassic World Evolution 2. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game.